Holy shit. Holy shit, we're here.
We are here.
Oh my god, we're actually here. Hi. Oh,
Hello.
wow. Sorry.
Wow. Truly.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a... What? How long has this been in the making? Oh, 6 months?
7 months.
7 months in the making. This has been 7 months in the making, and today we are finally here. This is a podcast between me, Hez, and this wonderful individual, T. So yeah, welcome to Deity Dialogues. We're just where we're just gonna be goofing around, talking to random stuff relating to the TTRPG space, or maybe even more than that. We shall see. So, I mean, this is a debut, so I don't really know what we're supposed to do exactly. T has like the organizing of how this conversation goes. I just did, the art.
Oh god.
And the technical. So take it away, T. So what were we gonna do first?
Okay, so first of all, what we're gonna do is, just lay down. Well, before we do anything with this podcast and with this stream, we do need to shout out the event that's happening 2 hours from now, roughly 2 hours from now, over at the Divinity server.
Yeah.
It's game night. It's Friday night. It's game night.
It's game night? Oh my god.
It is.
What are they gonna play?
Do join us. That I'm sure the hosts will know. I'm sure the hosts of game night will know what we're playing. I can have a look, but I don't know. I think it's just going to be party games like, code names, Gothic Phone, stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, Gothic Phone is so much fun.
Have fun. Over at game night.
Yeah.
In 2 hours.
Yeah, in 2 hours. If you like to, have a community bonding, please feel free to join Divine, who is the believe this. I said CEO of no, the owner of the server, and
not CEO.
Yeah, CEO is the owner of the server.
Game night.
Yeah, CEO
He's
of the
the
game
CEO
night.
of Divinity, CEO of game night.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed that, if you want to meet your fellow members, feel free to join this event. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun, and yeah. And with that,
absolutely.
Yeah. With that, what's next?
It's going to be fun. And it's going to be fresh, and it's gonna be the right start to your weekend. So go for it.
I kind of need it.
I think we all kind of need it right now. Everyone has just been absolutely going through hell. So honestly, I hope that between our stream today, our podcast today, and the game night after, I hope that this takes a little bit of, some of the pain away from whatever you're going through, if you're going through anything. And we're just here to be your friendly pals, chatting shit about D&D.
yeah, that's it. Wait, schedule-wise,
right?
No. We don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We just decided to stream on this day because this is the time we're available. Yep. So we shall
literally see. Okay. Before I give you the schedule, before I give you the rundown of what this is or anything, I need to tell you a very chaotic story about this podcast and how it came about.
Yeah.
Because it was literally just me going, "Hey, Hez, I think we would be great co-podcast hosts. What do you think about it?" It was before one of our sessions. I don't know whether it was Vampire the Masquerade, Curse of Strahd. But yeah, well, I asked and he was like, sure. Yeah. absolutely. And then
Oh.
I thought it was a joke. I'm pretty sure Hez thought it was a joke.
Yes. Hello?
Hello.
We're back. Okay. Start stream again.
Yeah, let's start stream again.
Oh, come on. Oh my god, my Wi-Fi. Holy shit. Are we back?
That was so funny. Oh, good.
Hello?
Good.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Oh god. Alright, we're back. I think? We're
Yeah.
back. Oh my god.
I think so.
Of course it happens.
My screen hasn't caught up yet, but I'm sure we will in a bit.
Oh god. Yeah. The bitrate B.
Yep.
The bitrate B. Wilding.
Yeah, it's not stable.
Oh
Well,
boy.
you know, persevere. It's okay.
We're good, I think. Hi. So, I'm sorry.
Yes. Apologies for
My internet decided to
technical
shut itself
issues.
specifically on this hour of this day. So yeah, this is fun. Anyway, continue.
It's great.
Continue on.
It's perfect.
Continue.
Well,
on.
I've lost the thread.
Oh no.
But I think I know where I was. I think it was. I was just talking about that we don't really know if today is like a set day, whether Friday is a set day or not. And I don't know whether you are okay with that, but we can sort that out behind screen,
the scenes,
basically. Yeah, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So that we're not taking up our precious airtime with all of it.
Yeah.
But when we do know and when we do figure that out, we'll definitely put a message through on the chat
Yes.
and keep you all in the loop. So
Yes, sir.
yes, look out for a message soon, because we will decide it soon, because we do want to commit and stick to this.
Oh yeah. We want to. As far as we
Yes,
can.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. Also, I think we're on the track of like how this fucking idea came to be, if I remember correctly. It was chaotic.
Oh,
That's for sure.
I think so. We just kind of died during the explanation. We went dark during that. So,
Oh yeah. Don't worry, I have it recorded, so we're fine. Behind the scenes, maybe.
Great.
Who knows?
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, not the BTS footage already. It's been 15 minutes of this podcast being gone.
We're going all the way. We're gonna have a Patreon set up.
Yes, we're gonna have an
website?
email. We will definitely have a Google Forms soon.
Yes, we should.
Because of this reason, we will be talking about some spicy, saucy, zesty horror stories in D&D. Not the kind that spook you, but spooks you, but in a different way.
Yeah.
It's basically I think right now D&D AITAs are pretty topical, you know. Everybody, all the Reddit podcasts are all doing am I the asshole posts and reading them and reacting to them and giving their own opinions. So since we're a Divinity server, since we're a D&D server, I think that we're uniquely situated to kind of to comment on D&D posts and assholes in D&D games.
Yeah.
So yeah, and TTRPG in general, I think, because a lot of us play a lot of different TTRPGs, not just D&D.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did want to shout out Eldritch Podblast, because that is kind of where I got the idea from, because it was in the back of my mind anyway, but then I saw it on TikTok and then I was like, okay, so this is a thing, we can do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Eldritch Podblast. They're freaking amazing. We love them. I love them definitely.
I don't know who they are, but I love them too.
They're great. They're very lovely people and just very balanced takes. So yeah, if you're not watching this podcast, check them out. But yeah, that's where I got the idea, and that's how this came to be. And pretty much also, it's just, I think the two of us just tend to have a lot of opinions whenever we play any kind of D&D, like whether as a player for me or DM for me or DM for you or player for you. So it's really just, we have a lot of opinions, and we thought maybe we could share. And also, before we get into any of the actual meat and potatoes of the podcast, should we maybe introduce ourselves a little bit? Beyond just the name?
Yeah, I was about to say. So who want to go first?
You can go first.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
On the spot.
Oh, fuck me. Hello, everybody, and this is I, Hez, and I'm a mod in the Divinity D&D. I've been GMing for like almost 4 years now. Whoa. Time flies fast. Yeah, started in the pandemic and still here ever since. I'm currently on the break as of this recording. But I love DMing and /GMing, and yeah, I have a lot of opinions about it on how to improve on it and such.
Yes.
Yeah. How about you?
And me? Well, hello there. I'm T. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We're both mods. We're both mods over at the Divinity server, probably where you came from. So, hello, hi. Hello. We're mods. A tip of my hat to you all. Well, I am a player, DM. I'm really an enigma. I don't know where I fit in. But I've, not to sound like a complete tool, but it's true. I've DM'd quite a lot, even though I haven't played for very long, but I think I've DM'd and played for 2 years now, 2-3 years.
Oh my god, really?
Yes. Hez was actually my first game master. So that's interesting. But very fun things have come from me playing D&D. Not just, being a TTRPG player and DM. I've actually partnered with local art galleries and local universities to bring the D&D experience to them.
What?
And I've been DMing. Yeah, I know. It's crazy what you can do.
What the fuck is this lore drop? Holy shit.
But yeah. I think back in 2022, end of 2022, I did a series of one-shots at the local art gallery in my city, and they sponsored it.
What the fuck?
Yep, that happened. And there's it was a huge success, and we're doing it again this October in the same art gallery on a huge scale.
Oh my god.
So yes, I am uniquely situated in the D&D, part of this podcast because, well, I also have experience, marketing D&D to non-D&D folks, basically. A lot of older people that are just like, what the hell is Dungeons and Dragons? I don't want that shit in my gallery. I don't want that nonsense here. So yeah, that's me, and that's what I do. I play, obviously, but I also use it as a storytelling tool to educate people on my own interests and my own, knowledge base. So yeah, that's me.
You're never gonna get this lore drop from me. y'all. I'm not gonna be. You're never gonna hear something from me that's awesome as T had. I'm just a regular
Oh my god.
college student who is broke as fuck, going through it. But T here has that.
I'm broke too. They didn't pay me. Okay,
Uh-huh.
they didn't pay me for it, but I
Okay.
love doing it because I was a volunteer who came up with that idea, and they really loved it. Thankfully, they were
Yeah.
open to it. So yeah, that's my lore.
Oh my god.
If you want some more tea lore, come back next come back next time on Deity Dialogue.
What the fuck? Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely
flabbergasted.
an interesting. Yeah, I don't know if you didn't know this, by the way.
I didn't know
Hez.
this. This is crazy to me. What the fuck? Okay, alright. Before
Yeah.
I continue on, let's move on from this topic. What's next on the board, T?
Well, I'm a bit disoriented now. I didn't know you didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the next thing I guess is to give a bit of context on why Deity Dialogues. We kind of struggled with the name a little bit.
yeah, we did,
I'd
yeah.
like to. I like to think. We both had pretty rough ideas about what we wanted to name the podcast. We just wanted to, we wanted to do the easy thing and just have it be Divinity Podcast or something like
Yeah.
that. Divinity Podcast.
Yeah.
But then we thought, because this is our kind of, we brought it together. We told some of the mods, we told some of the staff team, but they don't really know what the hell we've been doing.
We're uncaged,
so-
unleashed on this.
We're off the hinges, guys.
We're off
please.
the hinges.
This is what you get. This is what you get in this particular podcast.
I still have
no,
the
because-
sticky note here.
Oh yeah. We went through a lot of post-it notes. Yes.
Yeah.
We went through that process, and we kind of came up with our own variations of Divinity adjacent related, because we're mods, but the mods on Divinity server they're called demigods. So demigod, deity, and since we are a couple of yappers, dialogues. So Deity Dialogues, that's how that came about.
I mean, the other one that I really like was Pantheon Frequencies. I really like that
I
one.
like that one too. I thought it was I thought Pantheon Frequencies was really cool, and we still might use that for
Sometimes.
It might be a subsection on the podcast or something.
Maybe,
We'll
who
see how
knows?
it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm the programming side of this podcast, whereas Hez is the technical and art side of the podcast. So yeah.
Boy, y'all. So
Yes,
so-
exactly.
exactly.
So JV brings a good point. Pantheon Frequencies sounds like a radio show. Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
kind of, I think that's what we thought of at the
Yeah.
time. Which is why we were just oh, maybe not, because it does sound like a radio show.
Yeah, honestly. Oh my
But yeah,
god.
Hez, if you want to give some
Yo.
insight on that
Um,
process.
Well,
Please.
well, most of the art that you see here right now is created by me. So the background, the desk, the microphones, the T's character, the PNG character were drawn by me. The logo that you see in the middle of the screen right now, that was commissioned by T. They did an amazing job. It's fantastic. This little thing that I have, well, my brother drew this. So, and my brother saw this art, and they were like, "Hey, let me draw you one." And I said, "Okay, sure." And yeah, and here we are. I love you, my little brother.
This is so amazing because the art of me is so cute. I loved it so much, and this entire screen is everything to do with Hez and his ideas. It's just
Yeah.
great. yes, the logo is my work, but it's not really anything. I just kind of slapped stuff together, and I was like, "Hey, does this look good?" And
Yeah,
Hez was
it
like,
looks really
"It
nice.
does."
It really looks really good.
But yeah,
Yeah.
everything with like the animation, with the logo, everything, with the screen and everything, it's all Hez. I had very little. I was like, yeah, it looks freaking awesome. That was my input on that side of
Yeah.
the process. So yeah.
Well, one thing's for sure. As time goes on, if this thing still continues, there will be updates here and there. So just keep an eye from that. Yeah.
I think it will continue just because I have a good vibe. I have a good vibe for this.
Oh, really?
It's good.
We'll
Yeah.
see, we'll see,
yeah.
we'll see, we'll see.
I'm manifesting it. It's really
Manifesting
good,
it hard.
so-
Yeah.
Manifesting this continues.
Also, like, actually, I think you start off the topic. What exactly are you the most excited about here today?
Well,
like, in this podcast?
So I don't know about you, Hez, but I think that, as JV said, the vibes are positive, and also between the two of us, I think we have a very unique, like, our kind of D&D journey has kind of been intertwined.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that I have to say on this podcast, I feel like you might either already know or you might have insight into. So I feel like because we have that kind of we just have that rapport already, I feel like it's good. That's the thing that's giving me good vibes. And one of the main things I love doing is gossiping and chatting shit. So that's going to be a segment on this podcast.
We're on the same boat. One of the things that I'm excited, which we'll hopefully be able to do, is to have some guests around. Hear them out, see their opinions on matter stuff, and have a joyous laugh. And as JV said, the vibes is already like, I can't stop smiling because I'm very excited where this is gonna go.
Me
The
too.
vibes are positive.
Will they pop out? That's a great
You're right,
idea.
JV. Exactly. That's it. Yep. You got me. That was the plan. I was planning to have the mimic open up and just like an animation comes up and just the Discord symbol of them just like rise up from there, and that's where they're gonna talk.
Oh my god. JV figured us out. God damn it. Shit. Also, just want to acknowledge Peachy for saying Hez is just a little guy. He's absolutely not, and you know this. He not a little guy.
I'm just a little guy though.
No.
I am.
A little guy that gives you trauma during the games.
Nope. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah,
hear
totally.
blasphemy.
Don't go watch the Curse of Strahd campaign on YouTube. Don't do that. It's not like it's verifiable.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah,
this man lies.
This man lies easily as he reads. As relating to YouTube, we're most likely gonna upload this on YouTube. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube. Check out the VODs. New VODs is coming up soon from SF Knights and Divinity D&D. Also, Tamriel. Honestly, all the games that's being run in this Twitch channel are gonna be uploaded in VODs just on the YouTube channel, so be sure to check us out.
And not to be biased or anything, but I think our games are pretty fucking good.
I enjoyed them
pretty
too.
Awesome.
I really enjoyed them too. Yeah. Oh.
Watch every Curse of Strahd episode on youtube.com/divinity. Oh my god.
All right.
I love JB. But yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube,
Hi.
hello.
You should be here. What are you doing?
Yeah, you should be on Twitch actually.
Yeah.
But we are glad that you're watching it on YouTube.
Yeah.
All of the support helps us, and it gives us a good, like, sample size about whether it gives idea of what we can do and whether we should continue or not. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Also,
Also,
if you didn't realize, I'm sorry to interject with that real quick.
no, you're fine.
My internet, it's weird. So if I suddenly die, I'm sorry in advance. We'll try to get back as soon as possible. But yeah, thumbs up.
Yes,
I'm
and
sorry.
there's no way for me to take over the stream right now, I don't think. So yeah, if it ever goes down, if Hez's internet goes down, we'll be back soon. Don't worry.
I sank the ship. Salute.
No, you didn't. You're great. You do all of the good things.
Aww.
You do all of the good. Yeah.
Traumatize
And yes,
Linaya more. There you go.
this is exactly. This is my reward.
I don't know what you're talking
This
about.
is my reward.
It's
for
character development.
Sure. Sure.
All right.
Okay. Well, actually, that brings us to a topic that I've actually been wanting to talk about.
Ooh,
You
really?
know? Yeah, perfect segue into as a DM. I guess I wanted to kind of start us off on some like basic topics to discuss in the podcast. I know that, like I said, we don't know a lot of the details quite yet, but I'm hoping this next half an hour will give a bit of a flavor as to what might come. What you can look forward to. What's the spicy gauze? What's the deep
spicy sauce
on the spicy gauze, but also spicy sauce.
Oh shit! Oh, I misheard that horribly.
I mean, both of those are great. So bring it on.
Yeah.
But now I actually wanted to kind of casually chat about, I guess, since we're both the DM, I just wanted to talk about how you handle, I guess, reward and punishment game, and whether our character personality and description ever filters in how you might mete out punishments or rewards for your character, or if that's even a consideration that you have. Yeah, I kind of lowered up there again. I kind of put you on the spot with that one.
God.
But yeah.
Yeah,
I just wanted to chat because I thought it might be an interesting, since we joke about it quite a lot in our games.
Well, the question is like reward, like how do I like debate whether to reward and punish players, right?
Yeah, and I guess so there are two questions I'm asking here. One is like, what do you do in terms of how do you figure out how you're going to reward certain players, or if you're going to reward or punish them.
Yeah.
And then the second question, I guess, is if OOC, like out of character, I guess, follies or decisions or any good things might bleed into, in character rewards and punishments.
Well, for me, when I'm looking for like rewarding for players, I always like reward those that always like exemplifies, like if they like they role play it out so like heartfully, I always reward them. If they bring good vibes, I always like some sort reward them. And it comes to the manifestation of like rewarding, like like a Pavlovian dog. Like it's horrible to have that comparison, but it's like you're just giving them like little traits of like, oh, here's some lore moment because you did so well. Oh, this is oh, you're gonna get this now, you know.
Right.
And it's like for example, if like role play, and I see that, oh, they're asking questions that are really like interesting. They're having fun, and you know they pushing the narrative. I'll put a little more lore, in lore dump into the lore that I've already written, essentially, and which is, you know, which will entice the players to be like, oh, if I do this, I get more, which, you know, repeats and repeats, in which, you know, that's another thing. In terms of punishments, well, you know, you'll be you'll be punished if I say the words of if I say the words along the lines of like, well, you can certainly try.
You can certainly try.
Like in punishments is not like, it's two-sided. Like it could go either way. It could be a good punishment, it could be a like bad punishment. Because you have to instill stake into like the player's decision. You have to make them feel that their choices matter, and to make it and to make them feel like, oh, they're affecting the world in some way, is to like exaggerate some moments,
Right.
and see where that leads them. Like for example, for you guys, you know, that, oh, like Peach's character, you know, talks to, you know, to the bard, and learns the bard that, oh, he's from the bard is they're basically their surrogate father to their ex, you know. That's an, you know, or
Yeah.
I forgot the other one where your guys is like giving the vampiric son that lives underneath the basement a chance to live. You don't know what's that gonna be, you know, but
Yeah.
you don't know yet, but you know, that makes things like very interesting. And yeah,
Right.
it's like a lot of things, my thoughts are incoherent, but you know, one thing's for sure, make when to for a DM, you have to make players' choices matter. If it's like a big choice, make it very matter more. If it's a small choice, make it, you know, like reward them by acknowledging them, like they did that choice, you know, laugh with them, make jokes with them and such like that. And I think that's how you get players to be like, oh, if I do this, these things will happen, this makes me feel good, so we should do this more, you know.
I think it's interesting that you say that, like, you know, if you do certain things, it gets players to be more immersed, or at least take more interest in the game. Because I think that also, like, that leads into another thing that I really am passionate about, is like encouraging player not just immersion, but also their proactivity. So if they do something proactively, like Peachy goes proactively and talks to the bard, then you reward them for being proactive by giving them that lore, as per my understanding. So it's really interesting that you said that, because I kind of see it in the same light, in that that's also kind of how I perform in terms of punishment and reward. But I think for me, this is going to be hypocritical, but like my punishments are a lot more obvious, or they're a lot more I think the plans that I devise are not quite well hidden, in terms of like the players know what they do wrong to do something. Not to say I don't reward them. It's just that my default is to be, you know, it is to incline and be sympathetic to the players, and to to kind of favor their characters in any situation, or like at least enable them to be successful. The whole thing about, oh, the DM is the enemy. No, not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
I mean,
we're just creating a game that you will enjoy. We're creating the dungeon.
yeah.
So
and there's certainly like a time for place for that. Like that's like one of like my gripes of like I can't do, because I don't really set things in stone that much.
yeah,
Because I like to emulate like real life. You don't know if it's a good and bad thing until you see it through. You know what I mean?
yeah. Until you see it play out.
Yeah,
exactly.
you see it play out. And it's the commitment that is like what I look forward to for the players. And this DM tip from YouTube, where to make players like to immerse themselves, as since we're in topic, to make players immerse themselves, make their choice make their choice like affect things, no matter how big and small that is, because that will realize that, oh, if I do X, do this is just basically real life. I'm playing a character who's like very different to myself, or basically me in some cases, and it just makes it feel like real. It makes them much more immersed, right? But there's certainly cases where having a blatant like punishment, like bad consequences if they don't do a certain thing, there's certainly like situation being like that, but for me, most often than not, you just have to commit, and we shall see.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, I say I punish them, but like as Peachy brings up an example of how I punish players, right? Those crystals were not meant to break, or like they were not meant to be toyed with, or like you took too long to get somewhere, or you've kind of been too, you've been a little bit slow about, you've kind of gone the roundabout way, because there's no wrong way to get anywhere, right? Like I don't think there's any, as you said, set path. But also sometimes you just want to be dramatic, like it's not a punishment, it's like, well, this story beat needs to happen so that you can progress, not the story per se, but like, again, it's that player immersion that you're really going for. And you're kind of like, okay, well, I don't want to overdo this and like give them nothing to hold on to. Which is why then you have, I guess, to take an example from the same game, the one shot that I did that kind of preceded it, we had a paladin and a warlock show up to kind of, because like everybody was basically dying. And then we had like a warlock and a paladin show up to just, to offset some of that toughness as well. Just because sometimes you don't know how encounters run. Like sometimes you're just like, well, this is a good CR. Actually, no, they're not. It's not really a good CR.
Well, CR is is really controversial.
Tricky,
very
it's tricky.
Like I believe someone said this, but D&D, like Wizard of the Coast, is actually like said that they actually fucked up with the CR. So
that is
I think
interesting.
That's not bode well, right? And I mean, you feel free to use CRs like to gauge, but
exactly.
But honestly, relating to that, how do you handle combat? Is there anything new, new that you learn?
Interesting thing is that combat is, so for me, it's very fluid. It's always like changing scapes, basically. and it's a tightrope walk. I'm not gonna lie, Hez. It's
Yeah.
a tightrope walk.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't really know how to run the combat
No.
in a way that doesn't feel repetitive, I guess.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you feel like your layer actions might be too much or
Mm-hmm.
too little, or you didn't balance it properly. Again, with CR. Well, so here, okay, my hot take about CRs
Uh-huh.
are basically challenge ratings are great for a baseline.
Mm.
Like they're a good baseline difficulty level for whatever you choose, like for your party,
Uh-huh.
basically, for the party that's traversing in your game.
Mm-hmm.
So they provide a good baseline. I don't know if I stick to it every time. I almost never run the encounter as written, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not possible, I think, because of how just because of how fluid the battle mechanics are in D&D.
Mm-hmm.
It's not it's kind of a weird thing because it's like you built the CRs, but you also built the battle mechanics that you have to kind of build the CR around.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting that they said that someone at Wizards of the Coast. I don't know. This is allegedly. We don't know.
This is very
Allegedly,
alleged.
someone said something at some point in time into the ether. No one has given us, obviously, but it's interesting that they might have potentially said that because aren't you the people who make this?
Yeah.
But I also understand that like sometimes you don't get to see that play out until you actually like even play testing. You can only play test that much, and then
We're not gonna
like
shoot.
they must have just it's just I think combat is always going to be an issue, especially in 5e.
Yeah.
Especially in 5e. So I don't know if they're even going to come up with a new edition. I'm sure they will at some point.
I'm sure they will. Well, actually, point that being, I found something that I like want to run with it, and I think it's been going well so far, which is this idea of just like create the situation rather than build it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
for example, I have like my friends are in like a group. We have right now they're in a tavern, and they're like separated, and they have 5 assassins on each group on them. 5 assassins is way too much.
No, yeah.
That's instant kill, right? But the idea, so the idea is to have the players lower the the deadly encounter, rather than you.
Right.
Like,
right.
So here's what they did. Here's what they did to lower the like. I'm having run the combat right now, but they have lowered the CR significantly by doing this. They told the guards that there are assassins coming, so they're now in the lookout. So that means they have encounters. So maybe like the assassins themselves are already beaten up because they have encounters with the guard. So now the CR is now significantly lower because they create the situation. And if they made the fight easier, reward that. If they made the fight harder, well, that's their fault. You know? If the dice got, if the dice was on your end, there's nothing you could do. If the dice is there on their end, there's nothing you could do. Rather than you being painstakingly like, I'm gonna mathematically prove that this encounter is gonna make them leave in 1 HP. Very impossible. I must say the probability of that's gonna happen is very unlikely. But if you just have this like laid back approach, I think that's like a really fun way to handle combat now, which I will prove or test this, I think today, this evening. So we shall see how's that gonna go. And maybe in the next one I'll report back.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. In the next DT dialogue, we shall have
Yeah.
we shall have play tested your
The theory
your
that I found
theory.
in YouTube, and I think it's
That's interesting.
like if you think about it, that makes sense, right? If your
Sense
character
of
if your character goes to a dragon's nest, don't pull back. It's a fucking dragon. Why would a level 3
Exactly.
party would be able to take down a dragon? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think
exactly.
that I think that logic should be applied everywhere, which makes me think of like, okay, rather than you create rather than you write for the players, you just create situations and see how the players handle it, which I think goes along the idea of the players being just a storyteller, and rather than an omnipotent god who always, I mean, certainly there's gonna be like, if the players are new, right, hold their hand, right?
Yeah.
But if you see they are now able to like handle themselves, just pull back a little and see what they can do, and you'll realize like, oh, they know more, they can do more than they originally thought, and that confidence will grow and such. So yeah, that's my take now in combat, and see if it's gonna end well. If it ends with a TPK, it doesn't have to be ended with a TPK. It could be like another story point.
No. Exactly. It can just story points.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, for me, it's an interesting thing that you said again that I think is pertinent, is that like, let logic guide the CR, not don't go by the book so much that you're sticking to it.
Yeah.
But also, once again, you kind of have to take into account that like your players might not always know what to do correctly, so like be flexible on that, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's interesting because like, how do you also then define what logic to use in terms of lowering CRs? Like what counts against the challenge rating, other than
I mean,
the obvious things.
It's the like, I always think of like a situation thing rather than logic, really. Like, what environment that the players have cultivated to make this encounter really easy or really hard? You know what I mean?
But that in and of itself is like environmental logic. That's you using that.
Yeah, you could say that.
That train of thought to kind of be like, okay, this counts against it.
Yeah.
My thing was not like disagreeing. It was more like, what else could we consider in terms of being fluid with it?
I mean, it could be like player positioning as well, if you think about it.
Yeah.
And how players...
That's one that's even written, like rules as written. So
yeah, and see, and how the enemies conduct themselves strategy, which I honestly am guilty of. Sometimes enemies are a little too stupid because I do stupid the strategy. So yeah, I'm guilty of that, which I'm working on. That's for sure.
No, I think you're so okay. You complete your point, and then I'll say what I want to.
I mean, I'm just gonna end it as like, there are so many factors that can increase or decrease CR during the combat. At the end of the day, you're still like the DM/GM. I mean, if you think the combat is still too tough for the players, make it easier for them. You know what I mean? You still dictate how that combat will flow. You just don't tell the players, because nothing feels awful than the DM says, I made the combat easier because I thought you so much you guys are having a hard time. That's awful.
That's a great point, but I think that is best saved for our session on etiquette, on table etiquette. I think like we could do that some other time, because I think that's a separate issue of itself in and of itself. But it's like, oh yeah, don't do this as a DM because you might be the asshole as a DM if you do this. Or as a player. Sometimes players are real assholes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
I think we have enough time for one D&D Am I the Asshole story.
Ooh, yes. Yes.
So my question is, do we want to do the one that you pulled up? Because I have plenty.
I mean, well, the one that I have is like really recent, and it's dying down now because the situation resolved itself already. So I think it would be great if we just hop onto that trend and just
All right.
Yeah,
I'm down for it.
I think that's a good idea. All right. So.
And yes, we are doing Reddit reads here. We'll do it every session. Probably 15 minutes of the podcast will be dedicated to it.
Oh boy.
Maybe even 30. I don't know.
Oh
we
boy.
might go crazy.
Oh boy, I feel like you're gonna enjoy this.
I think I will.
Yeah, right.
Definitely.
All right. Let's head on over to this. Oh no, that's the wrong one. That's Twitch.
Oh, I forgot to give you my opinion on.
Oh yeah. What's
combat?
Yeah.
So for me, your combat isn't like, I know you think that your combat is too easy, but then I feel like your combat isn't easy in the sense of like, yes, they're not particularly like, we don't have to struggle like in terms of we're dying all the time in your combat. But I don't think that's the mark of good combat anyway. Because it should be engaging and entertaining, immersive, which I think all of it is. Prime example being in, oh god, well, I've forgotten the name of the campaign, but Silver Keep.
Oh,
right?
Oh boy.
In Silver Keep, yeah. We're throwing it way back.
Oh god.
We're throwing it back. But yeah, in Silver Keep, when Narya had to die for narrative reasons and for certain player reasons as well. I think that was a good combat because it was well balanced in terms of how difficult it was. It didn't feel like complete despondency, but then also it had stakes and also it had loss in it, if you know what I mean. Like, yes, it felt like it was narratively set up, my character was gonna die, but I feel like that was so well done. I don't have any say in how she went, just that she did go. And I was really happy with the turnout. I was like, that was great. That was perfect. It was dramatic. Exactly what I want from any character death moments that I have.
I was still a baby.
You were a baby, but so was I.
That was fun.
We were D&D babies.
I wish I could do better in that game. You know what I mean? Silver Keep is a Strixhaven game. Which I turned into my iteration of it. That world setting is really tough because it really heavily depends on the player's willingness to roleplay. So
someone remember Silver Keep.
Yeah. I wish I could I want to do, if I were to run Silver Keep again, I would have changed some things. That sucks.
Right. Hello, Divine.
Hello, Divine.
Hi.
Surprise?
Welcome. Surprise. Happy birthday. Merry Christmas.
Valid.
We're here. We're here. We're streaming. You didn't even know.
All right. Let's go ahead and check
no,
this
it's
out.
your birthday. Your Christmas. It's just regular for all of us. No, let's do the read. I'm sorry, I just had to get that opinion out.
Honestly,
I didn't want you to think.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot.
You're super welcome.
Thank you.
Don't get down on yourself. As you write, Lanaya gets 35 stab wounds out of nowhere. in a post-it note.
All right. It's awful, but here we go. There we go. Here we go. Look at that. So.
Oh God.
Here's my.
I see it.
Here's the fantastic of 44 rules for D&D. The original poster of this has deleted it. I'll explain it after we've gone through some of it. And
yeah.
Let's go ahead and discuss about it, right?
Let's take turns reading. Reading
right.
this stupid.
I'll zoom in for you. I'll zoom in.
Thank you.
There you go. Oh, apparently Reddit doesn't like that, but you know what? That's fine. All right, I'll go ahead and text first. Oh, actually, we need to open up the original link so we know the situation. So it's from this guy. It says, my DM laid out 44 rules for D&D. All right, so rule number 1. I'm timing turns. I don't give a fuck if it's unfair in your opinion because your spells are hard or you don't know what square to move on. You get 1 minute to know all the actions you want to take, or I skip your turn. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. I mean,
so one is okay. No, you go first.
I mean, in my opinion, this is logical because sometimes it takes like 15 minutes sometimes for a player to decide what to do, which will bog the combat time and make sure combat longer. But timing turns make sense. But 1 minute is too small for me. It has to be at max at min 5 or something like that. In my opinion. What's your thoughts on that?
I understand what you're saying because I think at surface level I can see why you think it's fine or it's justifiable.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I agree with JV here. Said that some of the stuff he says is so aggressive. The way he says it, aggressive.
Yeah.
There's no kind of need to be that abrasive about it because I understand that sometimes combat takes very long and I get it. Trust me, running combat is hell and timing it is worse. But I think when you take into account that some players are at a lower level of playing as often, or they might not have played the class before, or the subclass. This subclass is completely new to them. I think timing it is fine, but it's one of those things where you don't need asshole about it because you can almost kind of hear him say this because I've seen some variation of it.
Yeah.
But I think you can hurry people up without coming off so you're not on their side or you're not standing.
There are if you don't want to have a hard time limit, right? You could most definitely say you could just enforce hurry the players up by saying the enemy is about to attack you. What are you gonna do next? You're just standing there. What are you gonna do next? Saying those things would instill some sort of urgency towards the players who were just looking their stuff. You don't have if you don't want to be I'm gonna have 5 minutes on the clock. If it goes, it goes. By saying those little bits of pieces of trying to have people hurry up on something, will do that naturally. Honestly.
I don't like the way he said it is I don't give a fuck if it's unfair in your opinion. I'm sorry, that's the quickest way to lose players is by saying you don't give a fuck about their opinion or how they feel. The game cannot exist without the players. And
Yes.
yes, the game cannot exist without you. But then if you are all like, oh, I'm mighty, I'm this, I'm blah blah blah, you're gonna lose players.
Oh yeah.
And you're gonna have a hard time sustaining players on such a hostile attitude. So I think that one is, while on paper it's kind of fine,
Yeah.
I think
It,
the
like,
way
yeah.
it's said is just weird.
Yes.
And
it's
I don't like it.
aggressive, yeah. And that's gonna be
I
like
can
the
see-
main theme throughout this 4-4.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We have 43 more to go. I
yeah.
don't know how many I have in me.
Yeah.
God. that is
We'll just go
disgusting.
as much as we can until we say, yeah, we don't, let's not read this anymore. So yeah, number 2.
Yeah.
If you want harder fights, bring a second character sheet.
I'll take the next one.
Oh yeah, you'll get there.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Read.
And expect to twiddle your thumbs when you die. I'm not going to baby anyone.
Sorry, what? If you want harder fights, bring a second character sheet.
This is aggressive. Like, this is like
I don't like this one.
this is like instilling like DM versus player mentality. A lot.
I think that is why a lot of the players are like, oh, you're ruining it, or like, oh, DM is the enemy, or it's us against the DM, as you said. This kind of attitude will really, again, it's a great way to lose your players really quickly.
Yeah, this is like the very theme. I got a feeling that this is a home game because of the next part.
Oh yeah, I can read.
Yeah, go
I
ahead
can
and
read.
read the next part.
I think the I'm not going to baby anyone is kind of
It's very aggressive.
cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is why then players don't stay very long in the hobby. Certain players don't stay very long in the hobby because some DMs like
just-
this person
Yeah.
are just characters.
Yeah,
are
it's
just absolute
like
characters.
it's for me. It's like I really would like. There's always like the hope of having like, oh, all DMs are nice, you know, or GMs are nice, or they're helpful. But in reality, it is not so, and it's awful that the players who played with those awful GMs did like abandon the hobby because of that bad experience. You know what I mean? Which is awful.
Which is great that JB makes a point that some DMs are just too prideful.
Oh, yeah.
They're just too arrogant. So it sucks because you're supposed to. It's a team. It's not a team game. It is kind of, but like it's a collaborative one, right? You're collaborating with the DM. You're collaborating with players.
Yeah.
There is no
Exactly.
game if you're not doing that.
Yeah.
There's a certain unwritten social rule,
Yeah.
and it's don't be a dickhead.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, on to the next one.
Yeah, on to the next one.
If you call me or my rules unfair, I'll get up and go home. And if you gotta ride with me, you can find your own way back and suck it up. Oh, God. This man. I'm assuming it's a man, but like, oh God, this person. Sheesh.
Suck it up.
I don't.
Skill issue.
Yeah, just suck it up.
Skill
Take
issue.
your own.
This man
Take
is
your
quite
own.
literally saying skill issue if you think my roles are unfair.
He really he did say skill issue. But the entire post is just skill issue, the post.
Yeah. And
What is wrong? Like, okay, so let's take the, because I think we're gonna have the similar criticism again of like you're just an asshole, but like
yeah.
let's take the point for what it is
Yeah.
and say, if you call me or my role's unfair, I'll get up and go home. That is childish behavior.
Oh yeah, very childish. I agree.
It's like, you know, when you're young, you're playing football or whatever, soccer for my American constituents in the chat, and you are losing, so you take the ball because it's, I'm just gonna take my ball and go home and none of you can play. because you have a ball and the others because yeah. That's what that feels like. This is very much this is what it is, and I don't think that it's just I don't wrap my head around it, because like the first one, at least we had something nice to say, right? We were like, it's kind of logical, I can get it, and then now we're just like, actually no, you're a baby, you're a fucking man child.
for this one, honestly, in my head, right, if we want to do something about communication, it's gonna be like, hey, I'm rolling well right now, I'm gonna be like, this is what I like to do now. And since Brennan Lee Mulligan, my god and savior, does is to start showing his roles. If I'm rolling well, I'll start showing my roles to let them know, like, hey, I'm rolling well, this is not bullshit. This was what I was gonna say, is that like this has a very simple function, and that is just to show your dice. Because not just Brennan Lee Mulligan, Matthew Mercer does it as well, because like whenever he rolls like 3 natural 20s or whatever, he shows the players. He might not show us, but like he shows the players. And the players are much more important. And that's all that matters. Yeah, that's all that matters. The players, like, the people who are like watching can like say bullshit, right? But all that matters is they always do. So so there's that. Which actually brings out to number 4. I'm going to take your character's loot away as regularly as you want it given out. Rule 3 will apply here. Okay, so I don't like that he referenced Rule 3. They referenced Rule 3. Which I think is another word to say skill issue. I think so too, but also I think I've said this to players as a joke before. Not in those exact words, but I do say like, oh, whatever I give, I taketh away. Yeah. Which is, I say it as a joke, but like, it's so funny. It is so... Word. Right. Yeah, why is it a rule? Yeah, I know. Rule makes it sound like you're, I don't know. It just makes it sound so staunch, like you're going to do every single time. Mm-hmm. Like this is a standard thing that you're gonna do. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Give your opinion. Yeah. I just kind of went off on that. I'm in the same boat. Like I see this situation being like it's a game where there's a lot of items and the players is always asking items. So I believe like the DM just had like, if it were me, I would set up a system. If the players have a lot of items, start using components in your spells now. You know what I mean? Have durability on your spells now, durability on your weapons now as well. Apply that, as so the players can have more loot, right? But at the same time, those old loot will go away, in my opinion. Yeah, and that's the most healthy version of what he's trying to say that's here. The most logical thing to do. Yeah. So, and it's just he's making it rules, and I'm like, why? Why? All right. Let's go. Let's go to 8, and then we stop from there. I really wanted the 5th one, but that one might be. Let's go to like 5 to 8. That's what I was talking about. We stop at the 8th one. All right. Yeah. Let's stop at 8. So go ahead and read number 5. Okay. If you don't act out your... Oh, sorry. No. Let me restart. If you don't... if you don't act out any of your persuasion or intimidation or any other social checks, you fail before you even roll. Mm-hmm. I read that weird, didn't I? No, I think you read it correctly. No. Yeah, so, okay, I got it. I think I know what he's saying. Yeah. You fail immediately because you aren't even trying and you're making the game lame for everyone else. Lame. You're lame if you don't act out your social checks.
confused by his wording here.
So basically,
Like-
so if you want to like convince a guard to let you through, you're just gonna roll,
Yeah.
and if you hit, you just go in. You don't role play it out.
I agree that it's boring.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like that's the player's choice.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone is going to want to act every single thing out, you
Yeah,
know? Like,
that's for sure.
and if it's something that is like, even if it's a given,
Mm-hmm.
I think that yes, some people are going to want to play it out, and some people just aren't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it should really depend on the player, and it's not really a rule that you should have to write because it's quote unquote lame.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the like how comfortable the player is gonna be certainly to role play it out is certainly the factor. And if it's like for like my tip on this, because I've also like dealt with players who have like issues with this, I like after they roll and I told them, okay, you succeed. How do you do it? Like, do you like? I'll give them examples. Like, do you just like like nudge, wink?
Exactly.
Like, how do you describe your character was doing? Rather than role play it out.
It's an interesting thing because like I get why he might say that, but I'm also like I don't think it always needs an input, but then sometimes it does need an input. Like this is such a nothing ass take, but like I think certain things require RP, and I love RP. Like that's I'll always prefer RP to not. But then there are some younger players, and people who are just starting out the D&D journey, and they might not feel comfortable playing it out. In which case, I think this rule is too like rigid. It's not. It doesn't. It's too unforgiving for new players. And that's where my head's at. Yeah, words are hard. Thanks.
I mean,
words are hard.
I like what like JV's idea is like instead of punishing, give rewards. Like if you RP, give advantage. Or another idea is like lower the DC on the lower the DC of the difficulty of convincing someone. It could be like before or after the roll, but it's up to the DM's preference. There is all of these things could have been dealt much more healthily.
And it's not even about dealing it health. It's just literally a matter of preference between yourself and your players, which you can deal with on your table, as you said, more healthily, but also just more directly without being an asshole or a douche about it. Because you can set your rules as you want. I'm saying that as a DM, you have to be, completely flexible and you should just bend to the will of your players. But I feel like you need to. It's a social game.
I agree.
And again, we come back to the point of like you're going to lose players if you keep doing this.
Yeah.
And if you keep being so, to quote JV, confrontational about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite sad that he thinks he needs to lay out not 1, not 2, not 10, 44 rules that are all a bit shit.
Well, actually, the next one is like I think it's gonna be. I don't know if we have different opinions about it, but
okay.
I dubbed it the Baldur's Gate ruling. Like
okay, let's see.
If you don't pick up cues for side quests, that's not my problem. Get over yourself. It's not a video game. It's a role-playing, pen and paper-based game with miniatures. I'm now holding your hand if you chose not to pursue shit. Honestly, for me, that makes sense. I will word it differently.
This one is more gray, yeah.
I would word it differently, but I can see the logic behind this. Like sometimes players just don't get the side quest cues, and there's nothing you could do about it. And then when the players decided to like, oh, I just realized this, and then you go back, you know, time has passed. It's really still, I mean, at this point, it's still really still like up to you if you still want to have this quest done or not. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So this one
I
is,
see it.
agree.
I see.
I agree with this.
It's a light agree for you, right?
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing here.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that I would fight a little harder, I think.
Yeah.
For the for the cues.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd just put in more and try
to make it more obvious. You can make that argument as well.
And maybe, as I said again, some players are not proactive, so you really need to dig and dig with them.
Yeah, you have to give them the tools to make them be active. If not, they're just.
And also, we don't know what kind of DM this person is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So he might just be really bad at giving cues.
He could be.
And making the side quest sound even a bit interesting.
Yeah.
So, I think this may also just be a him problem, or them problem.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I'm not completely against it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my definitive opinion on that.
Okay, let's go ahead and go to 7. It's really simple.
Yeah. If you move to a square in combat, there's no takebacks. This goes back to timing, kind of a little bit.
I mean, if the player is new, give them the takebacks. You know, if the players know better, like they're like know better, you'd be like, nope, you're there. You know, make them responsible. But if it's the beginning, they just don't know what to do. At least give them a hand. You know what I mean?
I don't even know if that's completely. I think it doesn't matter. Not positioning doesn't matter. I think it's like if you move to a square, but then they're like, oh, can I just, I forgot to say this, or like, oh, can I instead do this? And they're genuinely kind of nice about it. It just depends. I think it's not that big a deal. I can find plenty of ways to still kill them and fuck them over if I really want to. Yeah. So again, it's just how you DM. Yeah, exactly. Dumb ways to die, 1,000 ways to die. I've got all of it, baby. I don't need a rule like that, actually. It's just a funky, silly one.
If you want to apply this rule, treat it as like chess. Like if once you let go of your token, it stays there. As long as you still have your token, you can just move it around.
Exactly. If it's your turn, then it's totally free play. I don't care. Sometimes you just need to see it play out, and that's really what you do. Then I think it's situational after the turn. If they're still like, actually, can I have moved it a little back, or like a little front, or like, can I have taken half cover or whatever?
Yeah.
Then it depends on the DMs.
Which will honestly goes to the next one, which is you tell every single person what you're doing before you do it. You don't fucking roll dice and then say you're casting Fireball. You will tell us all. First off, a lot of people already say this. You don't roll for damage. We don't roll for Fireball.
You don't roll for Fireball, no.
The other person does to save from Fireball, but
that's quite sad.
I mean, honestly, it's frustrating sometimes if you just the players just suddenly roll something, right? And they say, and you have to ask them what you're rolling. And say, I'm rolling for dexterity, or inside you have to tell you have to tell the DM on what you're rolling before you roll, so they have the idea of what to set. You know what I mean? And at worst, just talk to your players. Again, all of the problems here could be easily solved if there is clear communication between players and GMs.
I think that also boils down to that, but also, if I can add it, I haven't really encountered this problem that much.
Yeah.
Like it's a very rare issue according to me, but maybe that means I get some really good players. But I think it just depends on what role. I think in combat, yes, I think you should usually talk out your plans with your DM because they'll be able to tell you whether it's a good idea or not, or they'll be able to tell you if it's plausible, probable or not. So if you are to cast Fireball, then your DM will say, just a note, this is a closed room and your friends are here. It might not be a good idea for you to do that.
Yeah.
So I think in general, it's just good practice to just be vocal about, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? Are these plans? Is this idea good? And then sometimes the DM will say, oh, I mean, there are people here, or like, no, this is the issue. But sometimes DMs might also just be like, you can try.
You can certainly try. That's one of your weapons as a GM. Like, do anything.
Yeah, you can be like, oh, yeah.
You can. You can certainly try. You know,
can certainly try.
I won't guarantee your safety, but you can certainly try.
Yeah. You could, nothing strikes fear in your players quite like, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll find out. We'll find out together.
All right, T. You read the 8 from this 44 list. What's your thoughts and opinions about it?
I think we should keep reading these in the next podcasts, or like in the next iterations that we keep doing, because I think JB said we should do 5 per.
Yeah.
I think we should do 8 per, because then that way we get through it pretty quickly.
Because some of these are getting repetitive as well.
I mean, we could do quite a lot more because we're gonna have more time next time, because we're not gonna be talking about oh no, we're still on the podcast, don't worry. It's just we're just cutting short this because we're just listen, we love I'm so glad that you like this podcast. That means there's gonna be another. It's not gonna end. That's a good thing. I'm glad that you liked it.
Well,
but no, we should definitely do this more. At least now we know that it's a viable thing, and we have more. We have some
interest.
differing opinions sometimes.
Yeah. Well, since we're gonna go back into this, then I'm just gonna keep this as I'm gonna keep it a secret of why they deleted the post. I'll keep it a secret then until we finish this.
Oh no! Oh, by the way, guys, I don't know absolutely nothing about this post. This was entirely Hez's thing.
It's like when I saw this, I was like, oh my god, really? Wow! Like, I'm just like going. Like, I was going through this. I was like, and I learned the
I can't wait to find out the reason.
Yeah,
why
it's
this
crazy.
was deleted.
Yeah, With that, I think that's the end of that segment. Let's go back now.
That segment is done. Yes, I'm actually, so far, how have we been holding up in your estimate?
We're doing well. That's for sure.
We're doing well.
Yeah, we're doing well.
You having fun?
Oh yeah, I'm having fun. So much fun.
That sounds like you're lying.
No. Honestly, I'm having so much fun. It's like I like to yap.
It's not okay. The segment is done.
Yeah.
We're still talking.
Yeah.
I understand if our talking isn't interesting.
Our interaction is false.
True.
We're not funny.
We're not funny at all, but we like laughing at ourselves.
Yeah,
so
honestly. Well,
it creates funny moments because
I like to yap
silly.
because talking is so much fun. sometimes I forgot that I need to drink water sometimes. So because of
Oh yeah, I've voided like my cup already. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't realize how thirst-inducing
Oh,
this
yeah.
might be.
Oh yeah. Talking. Yeah. So, a person who has laid out how this podcast usually goes. What's next?
God. um. So okay, here's the conundrum now.
Uh-huh.
I think we should take audience questions, but this is entirely dependent on how much audience we have at any given time.
Yeah.
And if they are, if they would
Active.
like, if they're active and if they would like to be active.
Yeah.
So we can open up the floor to questions.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we'll continue our yappage, if you will.
Sure.
Yappity.
Sure.
And like one of us, I'm sure both of us will be keeping an eye on the chat to like see what questions come through. I know we don't have a huge viewer
I think we're doing well.
base right now, but like I imagine there's still questions. I think we'd be fine because like people often in the server have questions regarding all of this to you. Especially, so this might be a good chance for you to address all of it. So
Yeah. So to those who are watching us, I think that's a great idea. While we're talking away, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat, and then we will look at them and
we will
answer them. Keep an eye out.
We will keep an eye out on the chat, and we'll see what questions you might have. Again, I don't have to remind you to keep it, chill
TOS.
and all of that.
Yeah, make sure it's PG-13 and such.
I mean, you can cuss, I guess, because we have been cussing. But yeah,
if you have,
So that was my next point: is what kind of questions are we looking for? So any questions you might have, me or Hez, or about anything in general, about DMing, playing, about this server, which I don't think is going to thing. We have a question already. Yeah, that's a great sign.
Yeah, how do you determine when to move plot along? I have an idea. It's vague. How about you? See.
Interesting thing about me, I am the plot. I move it along as per obviously there are story beats, right? Which I think is important in any game that I'm DMing. I have a very story heavy game. So I think the plot naturally moves along as the player kind of traverse through whatever land they're in, realm they're in. But then sometimes the plot needs to be inorganically pushed as well.
Yes.
Certain plot devices that I use, I love dreams. I love a good messed up dream.
A good dream is pretty good.
A good dream.
Yeah, because the players will
A good
lose
dream,
their shit.
a bad dream.
I
Exactly. Oh my god, I gave Peachy so many fucked up dreams. I love using like silly crystals, like enhancing crystals or like herbs or something like that. Make them see really like traumatizing visions or really wholesome visions. Sometimes they're both. Just to get them to get interested in the plot, and even just give them the assurance that I am listening and I do have their story, and I am like, there is something for you to look forward to. There's there's something for you in the game.
For me, it's actually like yours is very structured. for me it's very different. I don't know how to describe it. I'm very improv-y. And I could like once I feel like, oh, there's a story beat here. What is it? Right? And if I suss it out, I'll be like, oh, what can I do to push this narrative? So then I'll use like different plot devices like dreams and such. For example, the one in like, SF Nights, which I believe what moment that I could pick out in SF Nights? The moment with the when you look at the CCTV.
Yes.
I will say it right now. I did not have anything planned with it. I did not have anything planned for that. So when I realized that, I think I paused for a sec and look on what the players would like, what the players want, information would they get, right? And then I look at my notes that if the players visit at that place, what would they attain, and what realistically would they get if they look at this certain CCTV camera, right? And which they once they look, there's that story beat there. What did they learn, and where are they gonna go next, That's how I handle my story beats. I like I have a structure on how the thing goes, like if there's no story beats, right? But if there is a story beat, what can I do to make that moment memorable and such? Very improv-y.
Also, I think also it just depends on what kind of game it is. So I'm talking about like whether it's a full-blown campaign, a mini campaign, a one-shot, or a two-shot, whatever it might be. It would also depend on, I guess, on the amount of time you have to get through the plot as well.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can't be super subtle about it.
Yeah.
You can just like you need to get through it with a sense of urgency. So in that case, I think something like what Divine does would be preferable, would be good, because it's like, oh yeah, you like to set time limits. So they can like really put their pedal to the metal, as they say. So that's a good way to get through that as well. I think maybe one shots, it's really difficult.
For one
so
shots,
I would say limit combat in one shot.
For one shots, what I usually do, being like, hey y'all, this is how we're gonna do it. There's 3 phases. As I explained to them, there's 3 phases. The introduction, where you're gonna get your adventure. The progress of getting like the ending, and then the ending. That's how I usually structure them. So I told them, all right, we're gonna spend some time here, you're gonna spend some time here, and then I'm gonna spend some time here. And usually the players would be like, yeah, that's fine, we understand, And if the scene drags too long, I would like communicate to the players like, hey, this thing is getting too long, and then we're running out of time. It would be fine to like move on. And usually the players would be like, yeah, that's fine,
Yeah. It's also limiting in one shots to have to do that, because like obviously you only have so much amount of time, so you kind of have to like
tell the story,
bend the story to like that time limit. So again, here is where your story skills really count, like your concise way of just relaying information really counts. Obviously some players are just gonna take their time anyway, so like there's not much you can do about it other than, as Divine said, just levying some time limits. Which brings me to the point that Divine is again making: put 4 combats in a one shot, but then it turned into a 2 shot. So I think my main rule in any one shot is to like limit combat. So
I'm hired again. What does that mean?
I wish I knew.
What the heck I mean? Okay.
So
Ask PB, I
yeah,
guess.
one of the things is to really limit combat and be very smart and economical.
I mean,
how you use combat.
one thing you could do is that put a time limit on combat too. Like after like 3 rounds, 4 rounds, the combat's done, right? If there's still people alive, well, create a scenario where why they're not alive. Maybe a flood just occurred, you know, and such like that, in a dungeon, or there's a rampage of rats in the sewers, and it's just going through like, you're going through the
Cave in.
combat, and now you have to roll dexterity saving throws to make sure you don't get pulled away and such like that.
Yeah, honestly. There's many ways, and there's many different types of plot moving along the plot that you can do, and it really just depends on your set campaign or your set shots or whatever it might be. Plan around it and plan in advance, because you can never have too much planning.
Yes, I agree.
I think yes, improv, but also you need to have certain like basic framework and structures in place before you go into a campaign, before you go into a one shot, especially in a one shot. Because like with the campaign, you can develop it over time. But then what are you gonna do in the 5 hours, 3 hours that you're playing for one time?
Yeah, I agree. Well, in terms of
if you have more questions, we would love to take them. But this is a great time to plug our soon-to-be existent Google Forms.
Oh yeah.
If you have a D&D horror story, or am I the asshole kind of post, or even just a bad experience you had that you'd like to share and you like our thoughts on, or just to share, we don't have to give our thoughts every time, but we will. Then you can we'll be making a Google form soon where you can type it up, and we'll both be moderating, and we'll select the ones that we think are the most appropriate to put on the podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know why you're laughing, but I agree.
You know that situation where you've been talking too long and all you can do is make noises, and you can add on your conversation. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I can understand.
Well, which is one of, if you want to become a DM, social social stamina is one of the things you need to have. That's for sure.
Yeah, you need to be a yapper.
Oh yeah,
you do need to be a yapper to be
yeah.
It's yeah.
If you're gonna be playing like 2.5, like 2.5 to like, I saw people being playing for like 6 hours, which is crazy to me. Of D&D, you need to take breaks. Yeah,
you do. You need to take breaks, and you need to. You do need to. You need to master. You need a master's degree in yapology. You cannot simply major in yapology.
No.
You need a PhD, a master.
Oh yeah. I think this is a great place to like end things here, honestly.
Yeah. I agree.
I think it's a great
that was 1 hour 44 minutes. It's a great time. 1 hour 33 minutes. It's a great time.
44 minutes. Yeah, exactly. Right?
So no, fun. I think we're not counting the internet outage we had earlier.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. That's for sure.
Oh no, we just disappeared. We became Eldritch gods, okay? We just became Eldritch gods for a moment, okay? We just needed to go to the Asian sediment. Okay? Don't question us.
Yeah. For sure, for sure, for sure. Well, honestly, this is so much fun. I'm excited to do more. We're finally getting started. 7
We
months.
did.
7 months.
7 months. We started in mid-December to think about it, and now we're here.
7 months. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad Divine likes it.
Yeah, honestly, it's so much fun.
My heart is filled.
Yeah. Yeah.
We might.
I'm excited for guests,
We might-
honestly, and see how it goes.
I'm excited for guests too, and I'm excited. We need to talk about this, but
Yeah.
I might be down to make this bi-weekly.
I'm down to make this bi-weekly too.
Okay.
Wait, is this the perfect
Amazing.
time? Honestly?
Wait, did we just become best friends?
This is like, how to say this? Are we doing 10 a.m. PST around this time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bi-weekly Friday?
Sounds great.
Well,
Yeah.
Everybody,
We got the okay from the boss.
remember our statements of earlier saying we might talk about when we're gonna start. I guess we just decided. So yeah, bi-weekly Friday is our schedule. And yeah.
Well, Friday. Well, okay. Actually, we need to decide what bi-weekly for each of us.
Yeah.
Is it bi-weekly like twice in 1 week or once in 2 weeks?
I think once in 2 weeks.
I was thinking twice in 1 week.
Yo. Well, we'll see.
Is
We'll see.
the amount we talk, I think we have enough TD.
Yeah, same here, Divine. I'm like, wow, damn. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see next week and see how it goes. And yeah. But one thing's for sure, I think we both agree like this time works well, right?
This time works, and I think this is a great idea, and I'm so glad we pulled the trigger on this.
Yeah, twice a week. Maybe we do
The gun
once.
is hot.
Yeah, maybe we do like twice a week, one with the interview and the other with with just us. I think that would be a fun idea.
Oh yeah, that would be great. That way we could do like a shorter one in a like during the week, and then a longer one.
Yeah,
at some
that's
point.
for sure. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we got that set. All right, I think we can. Anything else to say? All right, forgot.
Yes.
Game night
yes.
starting.
Yes, you have 10 minutes to
10
cool
minutes.
down from this podcast and then go to
the
game,
game
night.
night.
Please go to game
Please
night.
go to game night. Our boss.
Where can we find game night?
Our boss is like it's not threatening us at all or anything.
Oh.
So please go to game night.
Our boss didn't even know we were doing this.
That's true. Yeah. So game night is gonna be occurring in general in D&D, which I believe there's a command for like the link.
Yeah, it's Discord. Exclamation mark Discord.
Exclamation mark Discord. Click the link, join the server. They're doing Among Us, Codenames, Gartic Phone, and other party games. And we're hoping there's a lot of people coming because a lot more people means a lot more fun.
If all 9 people join, we will have a great turnout.
Yeah, honestly, that's for sure. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say?
No. I'm just thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And it really genuinely thought we would get the amount of viewers that we did, because we were not sure anyone would like this. So
I'm happy that we have there's there's interest in here. It's so much fun.
and I'm glad we had a very interactive chat. So
Yeah.
I hope we can get that every week, but please, no pressure. We know life gets busy.
Yeah.
We will still be here yapping
Yes.
as always.
Yes, sir.
Giving our opinions.
All right. So, and with that, this is Hez, and that's T over there. And we just want to say thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.